Hi, welcome everyone to another episode of Victoria Shoots the Breeze. Today I have with me Serena Simoni, who's a good friend of mine and helped me write my first ever set that I did at the Comedy Nest. I think she's a stand up comedian. She has her own show on Instagram called The Cosmic Show on Sundays, so tonight. And you do burlesque under the name Wendy Bonbon,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Am I saying that right? Or it's Wendy Bonbon?
No, you said it way better than I say it.
Okay.
Thank you.
And yeah, I think what did you start comedy first or you started burlesque first?
I started burlesque first because surprisingly it was easier to take my clothes off than open my mouth. But
And then you just decided to do comedy.
yeah, I actually started doing comedy not because I wanted to be good at comedy or because I had any interest in comedy, but because I wanted to get better at public speaking.
What?
Yeah.
For was there like an event and you were like, I gotta practice for this, I'm gonna do some open mics?
No, I'm just like a really anxious, shy person, and I hate talking to people in general. And talking to people in front of a crowd terrified me for a long time. So it seemed like a good supportive community to like bridge into, but also terrifying.
Yeah, it is a really good supportive community.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, like I found out that like, well, through doing comedy, that like the dirty comedians, the PC comedians, like everyone, they don't care. They all hang out together, and then the fans they're like, I like this guy, I don't like this guy, but they're all friends, you know.
Yeah. There's a lot of different perspectives that you'll find coming together on a stage. And the fact that you can have such successful shows where everyone is, telling each other good job afterwards and encouraging each other, that's like a special, special place.
Yeah. Is there like a specific show that you miss in Montreal? Because I should put this in perspective. You were a comedian in Montreal, and then you went back home during the pandemic to St. John's because it's safer, and we're a bunch of idiots in Montreal, so you don't want to die. So you went to St. John's, and you're doing like shows online now, and yeah, like I was just wondering like which shows you missed the most.
I really missed the world's smallest open mic.
Really? It's really just back now.
I saw. I'm really, really sad I'm not there for the return, but I got a picture the other night of this is what I mean by the supportive community. They sent me a picture because I couldn't be there of all the comedians.
Oh, so that's so sweet.
Very sweet. Yeah. That room.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a special room. The world's smallest open mic. It's in a small room, first of all, but it's like it feels like very, I don't know, you're in front of a brick wall. It's just you and a mic stand. There's like a few people watching you. It feels very like, I don't know, like Seinfeldy. It just feels like the way you would imagine stand-up comedy being is that.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was actually one of the first spots I got to do stand-up in Montreal. Gave me a chance on the show, which is really cool. And he does that for so many people, and it's such an intimate place where you are. A lot of the times, it is a lot of comedians in the room, so you are getting to like interact with people that you hopefully will work with in the future. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I was wondering. I've been looking through your Instagram, and you do like a lot of different, like you model, I guess.
I think we'll call it that. I don't know. I'm just a fancy potato that puts on clothes sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you're an artist. I like to think like you do like a bunch of different things that you like through your art, but like what? So you who takes photos? Do you have a photographer with you?
I have a few friends of mine who are really great photographers, and they like to work with me, and I like to work with them. So there's a lot of happy collaborations that go on there. Yeah, so there's various people, but right now the person I'm working with the most is Jared Reed, and I like that he lets me do whatever weird things I want to do, whether that be like wrap myself up in plastic wrap or like just lie in the mud and do like weird T-Rex faces and things. I don't know. Just have fun with it.
Yeah, I saw your food stuff, like with the saran wrap, and like you have like orange slices on you, or you're biting into an orange. I really like those. It's so like creative. I feel like it's a really niche thing, but it works, you know.
Thank you. Yeah.
Same thing with like you have a bunch of well, for the people listening, like you should really go look at her Instagram feed. It's Wendy Bonbon, and it's like she has a bunch of photos of herself in like a bath of blood or something. I don't know. It's really cool.
Yeah, the bloodbath was a very strong artistic menstruation moment. I was trying to get more comfortable with the fact that we all bleed, so I decided to go to a Halloween store and get fake blood.
Oh, you actually went to get fake blood. I was wondering if it was just like water with like a red dye in it.
No, I had to get something really thick. So I think you can do that, but you have to use like cornstarch or something to like make it like more of a paste. But no, I was lazy and I just went to Spirit Halloween.
That's awesome. It has like very the style of stuff you do has very feminist vibes, very strong feminist vibes, and you never actually use that word. But like, do you consider yourself a feminist?
I think I do, but I think I'm still very much so growing into the comfort of what that means. So I think I'm somebody who likes to surround themselves with really powerful and empowering women. And a lot of the things I do, I'm in communities where I want to support women. I want to see women take up space and take the stage, or anybody identifying as a woman take up space. But I think identifying and saying the word feminist out loud is still something I'm getting really comfortable with because my values line up. But I think I'm getting used to using my voice. I'm getting used to speaking more than just using my body for expressing what I want to express. So I guess I do, but I'm easing into the
word.
Yeah.
I can see that. Like a lot of people, I've actually had arguments with other comedians where I'm like, no, if you're a female stand-up comic, you're feminist because like it's something so unusual and you have to break out of the mold and like go in front of people and then just do your like funny clown stuff. And it's like so male dominated that you can't not have feminist values. And people are like, no, female comedians, they're not all feminists. But I don't know what you think about that.
I think maybe there's a lot of people out there who are in a situation like me where they're just not comfortable enough to vocalize the actual words, but a lot of people's values do line up with people who identify as feminists. And I think that you are right. In the comedy community, it is really, you don't have nearly as many female comics as you do male. A lot of the times it's really rare to see an all-female show, an all-female lineup, or a female-dominated lineup for that matter. So it is really important for people to take up space, and people who do take up space in those areas, it comes with a little bit of extra pizzazz, I find. You know, you don't just walk into it. A lot of times you have to fight for time on that stage, and you have to really show what you brought to the table. And people bring amazing things to the table that might get overlooked because of their gender or their lack of chance to get on stage.
Yeah, you have to be better than everyone else, essentially.
Gotta work hard.
Yeah. If you're talking about like all female lineups, I've never seen that. How does that like? What is the audience like? Who shows up to these things, and what's the vibe there?
I got goosebumps already. Okay, so there's this place here called Trapper John's, and there's a show in St. John's is called Jokes at John's. They often, through a few times a year, they'll do Jokes at Jane's with a female host, an all-female lineup, and the type of audience that comes to that show and the type of vibe in the room is vastly different than the type at a regular show. It's even before the show starts, it's almost like there's this electric current in the room of people who are just like, fuck yeah, get on stage, do your thing. And there's just that extra bit of, we came out specifically to support the idea of this and you doing this and taking up space for this. And yeah, it gives me goosebumps talking about it because it is such a powerful show having an all-female lineup, and it is so rare, as you said. Like I haven't seen one in Montreal in my time there, and I've only seen one in St. John's because people went out of their way to create it.
Yeah, I saw I heard of one, and it was a francophone show, and it wasn't all stand up. It was more like stand up and poetry and rap and like anything you wanted to do, and it was very like it's like it's called the Witches Circle, so it's like really like geared towards a feminist crowd.
Yeah.
But like I would love to put on an open mic at some point, like a monthly thing or whatever, where it's just female comedians, because we have so many.
There are so many, and like there in comedy in general, it takes a lot of personal work before you get on stage with your set, as you know. And as you know too, like you don't always get the chance to be in groups to write with other comedians, which is so helpful. And being in spaces where you get to network and connect with other comedians, especially if you're a female comedian and you want to network with more female comedians, it gives you an opportunity that you're not always going to get, which can further your art in ways that you didn't really expect.
Yeah. Definitely. Like I remember in the beginning, I was like so lost. I'm like, I don't understand. And then your writing group was fun. I tried to go to other writing groups, and I'm like, it has like, sometimes it has like a weird vibe where I'm like, I'm not welcome here. I'm gonna skedaddle. And then like trying to connect with like other female stand-ups, but I feel like people are really guarded, just because it's very important to like be careful who you work with. I think it's like, it's not a very forgiving line of work, I think, stand-up comedy.
Yeah, no, once your words and actions are put out there on that stage or even in the community, it has impact. It has a lot of impact, and people will remember it and remember how you made them feel. And in terms of working with people, I have had that experience in writing groups too, where I've been in there and I've been like, I don't really have a whole bunch to say in this. I'm just gonna go. But then other times you do get those writing groups that make all the difference, where you come out with a lot of good material. You feel like you have a whole bunch of new ideas, and then you have a whole bunch of new people that you can support. But yeah, it is super hard to find like a almost, I call it a safe space, because you need to have like all your boundaries down to really dig into what you want to say.
It's I help Scott run the workshop online, and we call it a comedy safe space, which is like, it's not a safe space because it's comedy, so you're still gonna say a bunch of dumb shit, but like it's comedy safe space, so you don't get judged and you can just put it out there.
Yeah, no, that's good. And I find like even too, a lot of times in writing groups, you know, sometimes you might have an idea, and you might need someone to tell you that you probably need to reflect on that and think of those ideals. And that's really helpful too, you know, like there's a whole bunch of things that will come out of these interactions within comedy. I have so much love for the things that comedy can do outside of comedy itself.
Yeah. I had a show not too long ago where like everyone laughed at my jokes, but I didn't like the way they laughed. So I came off stage and I went in the green room and I was like, this sucks and I hate myself. And then all the comedians were like, it was like a record scratch. They all stopped what they were doing. They're like, okay, what's going on with your set? Like, we're going to talk about this, which like was amazing, because a lot of those comedians are like not even from Montreal. Like, they don't have to give me their time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really... Well, so how's St. John's been? Is there like a lot of comedy happening?
St. John's is really good. Before I take you off on the comedy, I'm going to plug you in because I didn't expect to be on my cell phone. 1 second.
Plug me. Like, okay, literally plug me in because the charge is going.
Yes.
I see.
But the comedy scene is super good here. In terms of shows, they're just starting to kick back up, but everybody's putting a lot of work into making sure that it's a safe space for people in terms of masking up, hand sanitizer, social distancing, making sure that the venues...
Oh no.
Okay, we're back.
Oh,
okay.
You're back.
Making sure that the venues are all not just places where you can allow for social distancing, but making sure that they're comfortable. So Newfoundland has notoriously bad weather. If you're outside for a show, there's a good chance they'll have some way, shape, or form to keep the rain off you, which is good.
Okay.
But yeah, I find it's a little bit of a different scene here for the shows, because I noticed in Montreal there's a lot of people doing the shows on the deck, or they get to open the doors in the front of the bars and stuff. We don't really have that here. So it's more finding spaces that will work for you. This is actually our first summer, because of the pandemic, that we were able to have a pedestrian mall in our downtown area. So with the decks and everything, like you'll see every year in Montreal. So that gave a lot of opportunity for people, but again, that's coming to a close, and not a whole lot of opportunity in all of those bars because of social distancing to have a show per se. But the scene here is really vibrant. People are really making their own opportunities and continuing to do their writing groups, continuing to keep a community on the go. You know, I guess like you'll know, the Montreal comedians page is, you know, you're not just going to find comedy there. So the one thing I find that's really, really great about Newfoundland is the comedians will check in on each other. You know, it is, again, a sense of community.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And like, I don't know much about St. John's. Is it big enough that like you get like a different sort of crowd all the time, and like people are not bored of seeing the same comedians? Like, is there enough variety? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I find the audience kind of varies per location and per type of show. So for example, there was a show here a little while ago that has since taken a break. It was called Punch Up Comedy. And so that was a space that was really geared towards giving women time on stage, giving anybody who identifies in the LGBTQ plus community a chance to get on stage and feel safe. And that brought a different type of audience than, say, you'd get at a regular downtown show in just one of the bars. Mm-hmm. So like you'll get little pockets of audience members that come to varying things, but there is a very strong support for comedy here. I find, I guess Newfies have this mentality of keeping happy even through shitty times, like a lot of people do. But I guess like being on a little island where you're experiencing a lot of different weather, you're experiencing a lot of things slower than the rest of Canada. I find people find ways to keep themselves jolly and happy, and that definitely comes out through comedy. You know, everybody likes to get out for a good laugh. Party culture, I guess, like anywhere, is pretty big here. Everybody loves to go downtown, and if you get to go downtown and have a laugh, then
Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. But what do you mean party culture?
I guess that's just the best way I could think in the moment to kind of sum it up. I guess, like, I don't know. I feel like Newfies are known for being big drinkers.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, and like, it's George Street is this one street in downtown St. John's, and it's really famous because it has such a high density of bars on one street. Like literally, it's one after the other, and it's just it's an amazing, beautiful, colorful spot to be. So I guess that's kind of why I wanted to sum it up with party culture instead of break it down.
I see. Yeah, I see. And then do you guys have a lot of live music? Because like that's something I noticed. Like a lot of small towns have a bunch of live music. Montreal, it's like, where is all this live music? There's no live music. There's like 3 bars that do it, you know?
Yeah, I find there's a lot of live music here. You'll get there's a lot of pubs, so like you'll get a lot of Irish tunes, a lot of jigs and stuff going on. Yeah.
Jigs?
Yeah, I'll have to teach you how to jig if you don't know when I come back.
Oh, you know how to jig?
Oh, yes, I do.
Is this part of your burlesque act?
No, but now that you mention I might have to get creative.
And it might be interesting to bring in a bit of like Irish culture into your burlesque, you know? Think about it.
I will. I'll have to chew on that. Thank you. But yeah, there's a lot of live music here, but it's again, it's varying where you go. So if you go to one of the pubs, your chances are you're going to hear someone on the guitar or a little band on the guitar is playing some tunes. You're going to sit down and have a pint, but at the same time, you could also go down the street, and there's a few techno bars that have just opened here. So you'll get live DJs and stuff there. So there's a little bit of a variation, but again, it's a smaller city than say Montreal. So
yeah,
maybe not as frequent, but it happens.
Yeah, I see. I'm starting to feel like Montreal is a bit small.
Yeah?
I don't know. Yeah. I feel like going, like traveling to a town that's bigger to do like more shows and to like enjoy it more. Do you travel when you do comedy?
So I've traveled, but I haven't really I wasn't really far into my comedy career to like I know, right? I'm gonna call yeah, I wasn't really that comfortable to like sign up to any open mics, and like I knew that my stuff barely got any laughs like with my own friends that I was still working on. So I didn't want to subject anybody else to that. I'm sure it would have been a great learning experience. But it's something I hope to do more in the future. I had a lot of stuff booked.
Your comedy is great though. Like I still think about that party mix joke that you have.
Thank you. It's very relatable right now.
Yeah. Oh. When are you coming back?
I'm hoping soon. To be honest, it's just a little tough because I plan on driving back with all my stuff. So right now I'm just trying to think of the safest way to drive through all the Atlantic provinces and get back into Montreal. But it looks like things are starting to calm down a little bit up there. People seem to be going back to work in a safe way. So I'm pretty optimistic it'll be soon.
There's supposed to be like a second wave happening right about now. Like they've been talking about it since the beginning. There's going to be a second wave in like August, September, and like we're there. So
yeah, flu season. Like
yeah, that's what it is. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I guess it's just a matter of keeping safe. And I've seen that like a lot of people who are putting shows off in Montreal are posting that they have their wipes ready to go right next to the stands. If you want to bring your own mic and sort it out, you can. If you want to try to make sure you have your face shield versus the face mask, whatever. And I think that's great. It's really leading by example. I think you guys are doing a wonderful job.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard. Like I'm doing an open mic with the Dirty Four, and it's keeping the safety measures, because like a lot of people they don't really give a shit about the safety measures, and they come to the show and they're like 10 at the same table and stuff, and you just how do you like keep that safe? You know what I mean? Yeah. Or like the way the buildings are made and stuff, like it's not necessarily the safest either.
But yeah, for sure. You'll have hallways and stuff where you're like, okay, you got to stay down here while I pass.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like you're putting a lot of effort into it though. And I guess that's the first step, is making people aware that they have to be doing these things. So
yeah, that's true. And just recently we started having, because like at the beginning when all the shows started up again, all the older comics, they weren't there because they stayed at home because they're vulnerable to the COVID, and now they're starting to come out, and like I talked to some of them, and like they've had like friends that have had brushes with COVID and stuff, so like it really puts things back in perspective, because it's easy to forget that you're in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, for sure. Like especially when you depend on your body for a living, it's not just people who are in physical positions, but like, if you are a musician and you use your voice, you're going to want to protect that and not put it at risk. The same for a lot of comedians, you're going to want to make sure that you're not interacting in areas that are unsafe, because this is what you depend on, maybe not just for joy, but maybe for your financial income. So like,
yeah, exactly. You don't want to like do anything weird to Don't want to do anything weird to your lungs. I don't know why I phrased it like that.
No licking those public poles.
Yeah. So, I think we've come to like a natural end to the show. Do you want to plug in any social media you have, any shows coming up? Where should people look you up?
My Instagram for my comedy is Serena Simoni Comedy. My Instagram for all the other stuff is cosmic.bonbon.
What?
I
thought you only had the burlesque one.
No, I got 2 kicking around. Because
I feel bad. I've been looking. I feel so bad. I've been looking at like naked pictures of you, and I'm like I don't. I didn't know you had one where you're like doing other stuff. I'm like, oh, this is what she does now. She's just.
Okay. No, it's cool. I like that you introduced me to everything, because I am a little bit of everything. But yeah, that's those where you can find me. I've been doing a variety show through my Instagram, The Cosmic Show, and it's, like you mentioned, it's every Sunday. It's happening tonight at 9:30 Montreal time, 11 p.m. my time here in Newfoundland. And yeah, that's about all.
All right. It's going to be a fun time. And then when you do your Instagram, do you you're the host, you stay on?
Yeah, I stay on
the whole thing.
Mostly because I am a little bit greedy, and oh my God, the performers give my face the happiest expressions, and I want to document that.
Yeah, it's true.
Sure.
All right. Well, have a good time in St. John's. It was a pleasure talking to you. I hope you come back soon.
Thank you. I can't wait to see you. And it's an awesome job you're doing with the show. Keep it up.
Thank you. Bye. Goodbye, everyone.